9 goals scored in 2 games. If there's one thing that Pochettino is absolutely getting right, that's on fixing our attack. Now, I know it's a strong statement to say fixing our attack, but I feel like we're seeing so many fresh ideas in the final thirds. I feel like we're seeing this understanding between the players. We're seeing things we haven't seen before, like combinations. We spend so much money on signing super talents like this, but we've kind of stifled these talents over the years because they play in a system that requires them to follow the rules to a T, and they can't really express themselves. So it's nice to see Pochettino introduce this new dynamic, fast, fluids, interchangeable attacking system, and the players are absolutely loving life right now. And if there's 2 players in particular that are really adding this transformational effect to this team, I'm looking at Nkunku Jackson. In 90 minutes, 1 goal and 3 assists. We're seeing his movement. We're seeing how he brings his teammates into the game, how he creates space for his teammates. We're seeing his touch, his technique, of course, the danger he has. And I think he's the type of striker to really complement what Pochettino needs in his team. And obviously, we can't forget Christopher Nkunku. 2 goals in 2 games. One thing he is demonstrating is that ice-cold finishing ability in the box. Now, we have created decent opportunities over the years, but we haven't had that type of efficiency and that composure when you actually need it. So that type of finishing ability is going to be something incredible that we need in this team right now. And already seeing the impacts that both Nkunku and Jackson are having throughout this team, it gives me a lot of hope, because now, over these past 2 games, we've got goals from out wides and from midfields, and I really like that, because we're going to need goals from these main positions throughout the entirety of next season. But it's all foundations, right? Yes, it's nice that we're scoring goals, but as I've said before, I don't want to go into games feeling like we have to score 2, 3, 4, 5 just to win games. I think as time goes on, once hopefully the big guys come into the team and hopefully new signings come in as well too, Pochettino can work on fine-tuning the system and finding that balance so we're not too easy to beat. This preseason, it's about building that confidence. And one thing I'm feeling confident about is, I know that in tomorrow's game against Newcastle, now to let you guys know, reminder, 1:15 AM UK time kickoff. It's going to be an absolute late one, but you guys know I'm going to have you covered for content. But Newcastle picked up a 3-0 draw against Aston Villa in their preseason, so I definitely feel like goals will be on the agenda in tomorrow's game, which makes things exciting. And I know that all you guys are currently really enjoying our preseason. Who's not enjoying it? It's nice to see us scoring goals and playing entertaining football. So my friends, in today's preview, I'm going to focus on 2 things only. I'm going to go through the predicted lineup and my prediction at the end too. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that like button. Let's try and keep getting over 3K likes. It really means a lot. Before we go on, today's video was brought to you by OneFootball. Download OneFootball to stay up to date to all things pre-season and transfer news as well too. We're still waiting to do some business. We're selling players for fun right now, but we're playing against Liverpool really soon. And I'd like Pochettino to have a few more signings to work under him during this pre-season. So anyway, my friends, let's see the latest stories coming out today from OneFootball. And as we can see here, Florentino Luis being linked as a Kante replacement. Now, of course, Luis played alongside Fernandes for Benfica, so maybe I'll talk about this tomorrow. Obviously, Aubameyang's dad reveals the nightmare time that his son had at our football club, and I don't blame him. I think we absolutely treated Aubameyang disgustingly, to be fair with you. Of course, Caicedo updates, Lavia, etc, etc, and of course, download OneFootball to stay up to date to all things pre-season as well too, my friends. So what are you guys waiting for? Download OneFootball. You'll find a link below in the description and on the QR code on screen too. So now let's discuss the predicted lineup for tomorrow. So we start with the team news first. Obviously, Madueke might not be getting game time just yet. He's still carrying a slight knock from the Under-21 Championship, so he needs a bit more time and hopefully he comes back, because I feel like Noni could be that right wing Rafael Leao in the sense that, I mean, the guy is really strong for his age. Great upper body, really explosive. He can shield the ball. I mean, he's one of those guys that when he's on full momentum, it's really hard for defenders to stop him. And that's where he reminds me of Rafael Leao. So hopefully Madueke comes back very soon. We could see Reece James out getting some minutes in the game tomorrow. Of course, he's had some slight precautions. It seems like he's working well through them. Hopefully he's okay, but With Reece James and his injury concerns, it's nice that we have Malo Gusto as a quality competitive backup option, because Gusto has been one of the most impressive players so far, and this guy really dealt with Matoma 1v1 really well. And all this talk on Twitter about this guy being bad defensively, I just kind of feel like, you'll never get the right info from Twitter. It's just what it is. Or it's not even Twitter anymore. It's called X. But I still don't know what's happening right now. It's absolutely mad. There's currently 2 players that I'm wondering, will they even get game time tomorrow? One of them is Conor Gallagher. Now, Gallagher has been made some plus requirements. West Ham have made a massive bid of around 42.5 million plus 5 million in add-ons. Now, we wait to see if that gets accepted, but the fact that we've made Conor some plus requirements, reinforces this narrative I've been saying for a long time. But now that we have new owners and a new staff, these guys are creating our football club in their image. They have a certain strategy and idea behind how they want to move, and we currently have tons of sellable assets. Now, part of me kind of feels like, just like last season, we're forcing a lot of change very soon. I mean, these are some quality experience-ish options in Gallagher, where he's 23 years old, he has Premier experience, and he suits playing in Pochettino's football. He's also had a pretty decent pre-season, and the fact that the club have decided, listen, we sell him on, I hope they have the right backup replacement, because these are some massive calls that the sporting directors are making, because the sporting directors have all the power when it comes to constructing the squads. And obviously the final player is Trevor Chalobah. Now, nothing official, but there has been some news flowing around social media suggesting that we've also decided to cash in on Trevor Chalobah. Again, another experience option. And when I say experience, I'm talking about players that have been at this football club since they were kids. It's some massive calls we're making. I'm not going to stand here and be like, okay, I feel absolutely confident 1000% in the decisions being made right now. I'm going to keep an open mind, because that's all I can do, because we have to look at replacements for these players. But at the same time, Chalobah, for example, if we sign another defender, realistically, they are going to be signed to be 4th choice. You can't have 5 defenders who are all first team quality. It just doesn't work in terms of balance. And the fact that we're okay to sell him must mean we're looking to sign someone, but then time is starting to run out. And I was really hoping we'd secure most business before our first game against Liverpool, but that's not looking the case right now, and that's why I'm a little worried. So we'll see what happens, but these are some big calls being made, right? So going on to the prediction. Now for me, I want to see the strongest lineup that Pochettino can field. I feel like Newcastle will be a great test. They are a good team. They've qualified for the Champions League. They've invested really wisely too so far this window, and they'll be very difficult opponents. So tomorrow I want to see the strongest lineup currently during this pre-season. And as you guys can see on screen, I've gone for Nkunku Jackson up front. In behind, Christopher Nkunku. On the left, Mykhailo Mudryk. Sterling on the right hand side. In the pivot, Enzo Fernandez and Andre Santos. In defense, Ben, Levi Colwill, Chalobah, Malo Gusto, and I think Kepa in goal as well too. And I think on paper, this could be the lineup or close to the lineup that we see against Liverpool, based on the existing players we have at Pochettino's disposal right now. But to break down my decision making, obviously Jackson and Nkunku have both had individually impressive pre-season so far. Pochettino has alluded to the fact that he himself is waiting to play these guys together, and I do think that Newcastle will be the perfect test, because we only have I think 3 more pre-season games before our first game against Liverpool, and I feel like if our most dangerous guys can feel and form that understanding, that could be really exciting. And Nkunku at Leipzig has always profited of playing alongside these advanced style forwards, and I think that Nkunku Jackson, since he's been introduced, the guy can drop deep, he can run in behind, he can link up, he can do those 1-2 combos. And obviously when he was playing at Villarreal, he had Chukwueze, Yeremy Pino, and a few other inverted wingers, and he was playing that complete forward role for Villarreal, where he was the link up guy and the guy to get on the end of these moves. So in that sense, his profile made so much sense for our needs, and this is why Nkunku Jackson is a very smart and very intelligent piece of business. And I think that Nico and Christo, these guys just work and they complement each other, and they can cause a lot of issues. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Now obviously out wide, I would like to go for Angelo Gabriel, But I feel like I have to be realistic. Now, in videos, I've been mentioning the fact that he'll go on to Strasbourg, because reports have said this from day one, that once it reaches August, he will get that loan move to Strasbourg. It's a bit of a shame though. I think that he's been one of the most impressive young guys so far, and he's shown already that he definitely has the qualities to play in this team. I mean, when this guy is cutting inside, doing his 1-2s, speeding up the play at the attack, he's just communicating to me that he's more than good enough now to play at this level. But I guess we'll see what happens. And obviously Mykhailo Mudryk on the left hand side, you know, that trio of Nkunku, Jackson, Mudryk, that could be really exciting. I'm kind of hoping to see some interchange between Mudryk and Nkunku, because Mudryk, when he cuts inside, you know, he can also play centrally as well too, and that could free Nkunku to the left hand side. So, you know, I've always liked interchanging an attack because it gives a lot more issues for teams to have to like cope against and actually figure out. So Mudryk bombing forward, runs it behind, 1-2 combinations with Nkunku Jackson. I'm seeing a vision here, and obviously Raheem Sterling wouldn't necessarily be the guy I want to see. I feel like he's been a little bit mid so far, you know, overrunning things, you know, chasing his touch, poor shot selections and stuff like that. Let's see what happens with him. There were rumours that we would sell, but right now that definitely ain't going to happen, right? But of course, moving down this team, Andre Santos and Enzo are currently our best midfields at this point in time, because we don't have many midfield players. You know, now that Gallagher's set to leave, that's Santos, Enzo, Chukwuemeka, if he even is allowed to play in a deeper position, and Kaside as well too. That's only 4. And only one of these guys has experience, and he's like 21, 22 years old in Enzo, which isn't even much to begin with. So we're looking kind of thin in midfield at the moment. Kaside and I think one more might be what we need to turn to. But even if we can't get to Kaside, now that your Lavias are starting to get off the market, now that these quality options are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, that pool is getting smaller. If we have to pay 100 million, we have to, because Kaside, Enzo together, that's your midfield for the next 10 years. And let's not undermine the projects. Let's not do that for what, you know? Everyone's getting sold, and if we're going to sell guys like Gallagher and Trevor Chalobah, we have to sign players who are better, because what's the point of selling them to begin with then? And obviously, my guys, to end things in defense, Ben, who I think looks really impressive making those overlapping runs on the left hand side. Malo Gusto, who is showing that he can defend 1v1, he can help us build up, and he has threat in the final thirds. His carries are sick, but if there's one thing I would like to see, I'd like to see a bit of consistency now down the right hand side. I kind of feel like Ben and Mudryk is the number one, you know, left option now. On the right hand side, it's a bit undecided. So obviously, Reece James will get some game time as the game goes on, I'm sure. But obviously, right wing, there's going to be a lot of differences as time goes on. Obviously, Gabriel might not be here, which is a shame. Sterling, let's see what happens. Madueke still needs some time, and talks of guys like Shirky and recently Michael Elise. So all I know is that we're definitely going to have quality down that side, but it's about building those understandings and connections right. So my friends, that's my predicted lineup. What lineup do you want to see? Share your thoughts below. Right now, to end things, my prediction for the game tomorrow, I'm going to go for a 3-2 win in our favour. Now, I expect us to concede some goals. Now that we're playing against quality opposition, with some more like physical threats as well too. This is where I feel like inexperience can actually hurt you a little bit in that sense. You know, these guys aren't in their physical peaks right now. Of course, they don't have all the match experience that would help them during difficult times during the game. And as I'm saying before, I feel like we just don't look strong enough defending set pieces. You know, recently, even Wrexham, they had some threat from the wide areas. And if they were a better team, they would have caused us a lot more danger. And Brighton actually gave us a glimpse of that. So, you know, I think Newcastle with their wide threat, the power they have in midfield, guys like Longstaff, Jolinton, Bruno, etc., etc. And of course, Isak up front as well. Like, they're a serious team, and we're going to have to play a serious game tomorrow, but it's going to be very exciting because all these games so far are definitely worth staying up very late for. So my friends, that is the end of today's video. Share your thoughts and opinions. I'm Nini FC, this is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.